Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Empowered Living Podcast by Empowered Life Church. We hope it blesses you.
This morning I was just asking the Lord, just running through the things, and I said, Lord, how do I start this message? And he said, with joy. So, here's some joy for you. If you came this morning because you want to know when life will be good again, you've come to the right place. Because Jesus, the all-amazing one, I want to introduce you today, because he is my best friend. He's somebody that's changed my life and who I live for continually. But I'm sure you have heard of a different God with a lowercase, G-O-D, Thor. Thor is a Norse mythology god, right? He is a hammer-wielding god associated with lightning, thunder, storms, sacred groves and trees, strength, the protection of humankind, hallowing, and fertility. This is Thor. This is Thor when he lost all hope, when he had no vision of a future or promise. This is the God that I just described you, and yet situations in his life led him to this moment. How did he get there? How did we get here? Right? I think Thor is pretty good. We can cut him off now. But this morning, I'm going to be talking about resilience. See, Thor, he's a superhero. He's known to be just like one of the mightiest of mighties. He's got the nice accent, the nice abs, the nice arms, right? But he led to this promise. He destroyed the enemy and had nothing else to live for. So he decided, I don't even need to live. I'm going to waste myself and turn into that, right? We, all in this room, have gone through something to where we felt like, I'm ready to quit. I'm done. It's too hard. Now raise your hand at the end of this. Adversity is something we all go through, whether we have lost someone we love, gone through a global pandemic, dealt with infidelity, betrayal in friendship, financial hardships, or even family discord. How many of you have gone through any of those? Almost everybody in the room, right? I mean, we all went through a global pandemic not too long ago, right? The hard things about adversity is sometimes we don't know the root or the source. We like to blame, oh, it's the government. Oh, it's the Lord. Oh, it's the enemy. Oh, it's this. But adversity is something that we will all have to go through. Jesus knew we would too. One thing that I was researching in this, I was trying to find the most resilient animal. Camels. They are so amazing. They can go 15 days without water. 15 days. And they can just keep going paces, carrying all the heavy things. But the weakness in camels is they don't know when to stop. So unlike a horse will tire and lay down and say, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. A camel will literally walk until its heart stops and keel over and die. That's intense. The endurance, the resilience. It's hard to know, when do I stop? When do I take a break? I don't want to die, right? We carry the same weakness. We go for this adversity and push ourselves to the limit. I'm okay, I'm fine. I'm doing all right. Everything's all right. I'm fine. But we come to this point where we come to the saying, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I quit. I don't want to do it, right? It's in our vocabulary sometimes. But God came in and he said, you know what? I'm going to give you the strength of me. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, your mind, your strength. And lean not on your own understandings. I don't understand, Lord. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. That's hard. How do I trust someone when I'm in the middle of pain and suffering? I just lost my best friend. She died. I prayed for healing. She died. Lord, where are you? Trust in me. I don't know if I can do this. It feels hard. I don't want to trust in you. It's hard. But guess what? I'll make the path straight. You don't have to go through the curves. Curves are always scary. But there's so many strengths of people in the Bible that have gone through resilience. There's Joseph, sold into slavery by his brothers. That's hard. Think of all your siblings and being like, you're going, we're getting the money, goodbye. And then on top of that, he's bought into slavery, right? So then he serves. And then he's trying to be the best that he can be. And then he gets thrown into jail for a mishap. But then he actually is the hero of the story. But what would happen if he gave up? Okay, Dad, I'm done. I quit. I got sold. Goodbye. I'm just going to be a slave. Would we have that story of all the people surviving the famine? He still lived. He still pushed through. There's Esther. Esther is amazing. To think of being in a throne room of a king and entering on no invitation to where if he raised his scepter, you're dead. Literally on the spot. Says, no, I'm doing it. I'm trusting the Lord. Okay, I'm alive. Can you imagine the thought process in her brain? What if she didn't? What if all the Jews were killed then? There's a lot of different stories. I like to think of the Holocaust survivors. I love the Holocaust studying. I don't like what happened, but I love studying because it revealed human strength. People went through so much and they still lived. How did they do that? When I get a little cut or in something that doesn't feel good, I just want to be done. I'm done now. I'm just so hot. Where is that drive? Where is that resilience? Louis Zamperini, I think I said his name right. He's a former Olympic track star. He survived a plane crash. And then he spent 47 days drifting on a raft in the ocean. And then survived more than 2.5 years as a prisoner of the Japanese war camps. That's amazing. He held on to every little bit of himself saying, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do this. I'm sure thoughts came in, quit, just die. It's fine. But he didn't. He held on. Where's that resilience in us? How can I tap into that, right? Why is it that in every superhero movie or action movie, they go through so much? They're bloodied, they're cut up, and they're still going. Why is that? They always have to get the bad guy, right? The storyline is going to end really good. Or it's going to be part 2, right? So what is resilience? Resilience is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness. The ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape. Elasticity. You know, I really like elastic pants because they can shape with you, right? But the thing is they always hold their shape. They never... But our elasticity, we go through so much. Jesus knew that. And let's be real. This isn't a message to say, get over yourself, move on. You are entitled to your emotions and your feelings. Jesus even said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Come to me, he says. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. That's Matthew 11. How many times in your struggle and in your fight do you go to Jesus? It's hard. I don't want to admit, God, I'm in a hard place. I'm fine. I can do this. They did it. Look at Louis Zamperini. He survived on a raft. Why am I complaining? But he cares. He's humble. He's gentle at heart. He cares for you. So we, knowing Jesus, we live in 2 ecosystems. We'll call it ecosystems because it's easier. There's the natural, which is right here, right now. And then there's the spiritual, which is angels, demons, heaven, all the things, right? We are called to live through both of them. And it's sometimes hard to put ourselves into two worlds. I'm going back to superheroes because I love superheroes. There's this thing called the metaverse. I don't know if you've heard about it. But there's alternate life decisions and different things. If they wouldn't have done this, this is what would have happened. If with this and so it's like this, we're all curious. And we're all writing these stories of what would happen if I would have. I started thinking about it. What would have happened if I would have quit? What would I be? Now, there's a story I like to remember of my true resilience. I grew up on a farm on my grandparents, and we raised steers for 4-H. So every October, September, you would get your new calf. Probably be about 6 months, 7 months old, depending on what type of calf you got. And then you bring him home. And at the time, I bought this beautiful shorthorn steer. He was beautiful. I loved him. I was excited. He was such a sweetie at the show when I bought him. I paid like $1,300 for him, so I'm like, this is going to be a good year. And he's so sweet. And then we get home. He is not sweet. And he is not kind. So all of a sudden, I open the trailer door to get in, and he like blows right past me. And then he's running, and my grandparents have 10 acres, and he's running through the fields and just going crazy. And I'm like, he's going to give out. He never gave out. He kept running and running and running and blowing through fences and fences. And I look at my mom, I'm like, what do we do? Like, how do I get him? He's all cut up on his legs from trying to do all this stuff. We got to catch him. We can't just let him be. So we just kept waiting, and I'm like, okay, he'll give up eventually. We probably waited 6 hours, and he never gave up. So I was like, Mom, we're just going to have to see if he just, like, goes in the herd and calms down, and then maybe we could corral him the next day, because I don't know what to do. I've never had a calf that does this. Here's something I invested in and, like, was so excited about. So then, finally, the next day, I go back out there to feed, and he's in the corral with the cows, and I'm able to lock him in and then put him in his pen. But that steer gave me the worst time the whole time I had him. And I worked hard on him. Like, I would tie him up. I'd do all these things for him. But it was a testament to me more than him. Was I going to give up on something that I invested in and wanted to show in? Or was I just going to quit and be like, I'm done, I'm not showing this year? Trust me, that thought went through my mind many a times. He gave me broken toes. He headbutted me. He was the worst steer ever. Let's just say I wasn't too sad to get rid of him. But at the end of the day, I showed him at the fair, and I won second place. So it takes the grit to be like, I'm not giving up on you. Do you know that God does that? God is our farmer and our rancher, and he doesn't give up on you even if you're running like 6 hours and running in circles and running through fences that he never established for you. I said, hey, remember, trust in me, and I will make your path straight. And you kind of went off path, and you kind of got scraped up. I know that, but guess what? It's okay. I'm still patient with you. I still love you. You can still come to me, and I'll give you rest, right? There's so many things in life that we use to be a reset. If only I could go to the Bahamas and just sit on the beach and just enjoy the water. That'd be my reset. And I come back so happy. That might be true. If only I had $1 million, I would be so happy. I'd just be like so amazing. You guys would just be like, Camrie, she's just so happy, right? If only I had a baby. If only I could have a family. That would make everything better. If only I had a bigger house with like a bowling lane inside or a movie theater, I would be so cool and I'd have so many friends. If only. This seems to come out of our mouth a lot, right? In conversation. Oh, if I only had a couple more $100,000 in my bank account, we'd be a little bit better. If only we could have another vacation, we'd be totally fine. New car. Yeah. If only. All those things are nice, and all those things are good wishes. But at the end of the day, does it really reset you? Does it really give you resilience to continue? In economics, we call joules a system of pleasure. If I spend this much money and receive a good review or a good experience, it's high joules. If I spend this much money at this experience and receive no quality, it's low joules. So in life, we have these joules of like instant gratification. Amazon Prime, love it. 2-day shipping, hasn't been in a while, but they got me on that for a while, right? Instant gratification. When we went through the pandemic, there was this shift in people. We couldn't be still. We couldn't be quiet. If only life would open up again. If only I could go to the movies. If only we could have this big event and see everybody. Our minds shifted when things got taken away because what was filling our reserves inside? It was my people. It was the movies. My love language, movies. It's all these things, materialistic things. It really got my heart thinking, if I am so distraught of not having a movie theater, where's my heart? Where's my joy? Where am I feeding myself? Have any of you experienced a giant pressure to just quit lately? Just quit. Especially during COVID. Just quit. Wouldn't you see that might be a giant playbook from the adversary himself? Just quit. How many times do you think he was in Jesus' face? Give up, dude. You can't do this. As he's carrying that cross. Or as he's getting whipped. As he's getting called names. They don't even love you. Why are you doing that? Can you imagine the voices Jesus himself heard? But he carried on. To want to give up comes from the emptiness of promises not kept, disappointment, failure, and sometimes our view on God. God, if you loved me, you would have. If you truly were my father. He says to get angry at him. There's a lot of times in my life that I have gone through things to where I go up on the mountain and I yell at him. God, why? Why did you do that? Why am I walking through this? Why do I have to carry this? And at the end of it, he always says, you feel better now? I'm here. I didn't run. Are you trying to push me away? It's okay to be angry. It's okay to not understand. It's okay to not know why. But I want to fix it. I want to make it happen. I want to see this come. It's okay. Just trust in me. But God, you don't understand. I have this playbook in my mind. If I do this, then this happens, and then this happens. Just trust me. But God, when you promised, I'm a promise keeper. I didn't say when the timeline was, but I'm a promise keeper. A TED Talk lady, she is really famous for her resilience talk, and she says there's 3 things to resilient people. Resilient people are very careful at choosing where they select their attention. Where's your attention going? Are you in the news? Are you in the social media world? Are you in the up and coming of the stock markets? Where is your attention? They manage their focus that they can change on things that they can change and not on the things they can't. There's a lot of things I can change, which includes me, but I can't change you. So if I'm focusing, Audra, if she just would have dyed her hair purple, she wouldn't have gotten into I can't change her. She's her. She can do whatever she wants, but I'm her friend. I'm going to encourage her. I'm going to lift her, but I'm going to change me, right? Resilient people are really good at noticing negative emotions. Do not help your mental health. Negative thoughts. Oh, nope, not thinking that. Oh, you're talking bad about someone? Sorry, we're not talking about that. I'm not giving up on them. I still have good things for them. But we're really good at noticing negative emotions. Oh my gosh, did you see what Corey wrote on Camrie's Facebook page? Does he even really love her? We've all been there. Have you seen what they did at the Rogue Valley Mall? They should just close it down. Oh my gosh. We're easy to say the negative. What's the positive? Resilient people tune into the good. Something good in your life? Let me hear. Let's hear about it. I want to hear. Hey, did you hear that this happened to this person's life? That's really good, right? Hey, that's awesome. And lastly, they make an initial, deliberate act of being thankful and grateful. What are you thankful for? They did a study for 3 months. They took a group of people to where they woke up in the morning and said 3 things that they were thankful for. And before they went to bed, 3 things they were grateful for. And for me, I had to initialize, like, what is thankfulness and what is gratefulness? Why are they different? Thankfulness is an instant gratification. Oh, I'm thankful I woke up this morning. I'm thankful for my comfy bed that I'm getting out of. I'm thankful that I have air in my room. That's thankfulness. Gratefulness is recalling the day of something that happened to you where you received thankfulness, but now you're grateful and remembering it. So gratefulness is a little bit harder. It's not an instant gratification you have to remember. So after this study, they found out that the group that woke up like every morning with 3 things thankful and every night with 3 things grateful, they showed improvement in depression, they lost weight, they felt joy, and overall had a higher score of mental health. 3 months. I want to lose weight. I think I'm going to be thankful and grateful. Right? You are your own ecosystem. You can control what comes in your mind and out of your mind, in your heart and out of your heart, in your mouth, out of your mouth. You control it. Now, you can be an ecosystem with people around you. I'm in the negative one over here. Hey, tell me something good about your life. Any time soon? That's when you know your heart's negative. If you can't come up with something grateful or thankful in 4 seconds, your heart is not in the right place of thankfulness. I had to adjust my heart because it was taking a long time. Another thing that resilient people do, they ask themselves, is what I'm doing helping or harming me? Am I pouring myself out into people? Is that helping me or harming me? How am I doing it? Am I creating boundaries? Am I creating a safe space for me and myself? One of the most remarkable things about all of us here is we survived a pandemic. Whether it be fake, real, it was hard. Whatever you believe, it was a pandemic. We were all affected in some way by it. And that outcome, we don't know. Psychologists and counselors have said that this has been a really hard struggle. To get into a counselor or even a psychiatrist, it's a 6 to 9 month wait. 2020 really damaged us in a way that we didn't know we needed awakening. But God saw it coming. He never was worried. But we created But see, Jesus wants to give you the ability to never give up. He wants to give you the warrior strength to not give up. Jesus urges us to keep our hearts on guard. Our heart is really important. What we feed it, how we clean it, how we use it, what we sow into it. It's really important. Why do you think it's so important to guard it? It's such a fragile place. And why do you think Jesus says, "Can I come into your heart?" As a little kid, "Jesus, we ask you to come into my heart and be my Lord and Savior." It's the first initial reaction. I had an Emmanuel prayer session, and I had this really scary dream. And it was about someone that I love very dearly. And they ended up dying in my arms in this dream. And it felt so real. I woke up so scared. Like, what if this is going to happen? Why did I have that dream? What's going on? And I ended up having a manual prayer session that day. And I went to the Lord with it. And I said, God, why did I have this dream? I don't like the feelings I have. I'm messed up. I'm believing this. I know it was just a dream. What's going on? And Jesus brought me into a surgery room and looked at my heart. And he opened up my chest and showed me my heart had a giant shield on it. And I was like, what's going on? And the shield would open and then close real quiet. And I saw a little arrow fragment that hit my heart. I was like, Jesus, what is that? He's like, you want me to take that out? I was like, yeah, that'd be great. He took it out. He goes, I shield your heart, but sometimes you allow things for the shield to open. Your fear opened the gate a little bit, but guess what? I shut it. Guess what? I removed it from your life, but you have to come to me to get that removed. So, Lord, remove it. Remove it. I don't want it, right? And in that second, I felt his love so strong. Jesus never promised us that life would be amazing, that you'd have all the money in the world, that you would live a life with no worries. Hey, come to me, and I will give you rest. He didn't say, go to the Bahamas, you'll get rest. I'm not saying never go there. It's amazing. But what is your source of wanting to go? Is it to escape life? Is it to reset? Or is it for joy? I just want to go have joy. That's fine. But if that is your answer to heal your heart, that's where we need to turn to Jesus. Jesus said, I will be with you wherever you go. John 16:33 says, I have told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart. Heart is there again. Because I have overcome the world. He's overcome it. Matthew 11 again. Come to me, all you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Psalm 73, my health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. In adversity, the only thing that can heal us is hope. Hope for a future. Hope for better days. Hope for cleansing. Right? And Jesus is our greatest hope. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and will not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 40:31. Praises be to God and the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy, he has given us a new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. He's not dead, guys. He's alive. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never forsake you or leave you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, and I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. For our light and monetary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but is what is unseen, since what is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. That's 2 Corinthians 4:17-18. And lastly, peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I don't give it to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. I think there is something I read that it says, do not be afraid 365 times in the Bible. That's every day. Do not be afraid. It's pretty good. Receiving the strength that prevails, to receive the strength, we must have a single heart towards God. Is God your singleness? Is that who you're placing your hope and your trust in? Are you singly hearted towards him? Are you grasping things of this world to bring you hope and joy? God created fun, don't get me wrong, but he's our source of joy. The eyes of the Lord search the whole earth in order to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to him. It's really easy. I'm fully committed to you, Jesus. Great, here's a strengthened heart. 2 Chronicles 16:9. So what does a fully committed heart look like to the Lord, Camrie? How could I be fully committed? I thought I'm here. I showed up, right? Good job. You did it. What does it mean to sit and be still and know that he is God? Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. To be still in God. We were at the lake yesterday, and you can see the waves, right? Have you ever seen a still, serene water? Have you ever seen what that looks like? It's kind of crazy. It's very peaceful. It's very warm. To be still is to not just say, okay, God, you got it all. To be still says, Lord, here I am. I'm still before your presence. I know you are God. What do you say to me today? What do you have for me today? Because I know that your fruits are always good. I know that my future looks bright. But what do you have for me today in this hardness? Corey and I walked through a miscarriage together. And it was one of the hardest things. You promised me children. Why hasn't it come? I serve you. I'm here every Sunday. I've laid my life down at your feet. Why do I have to go through this hard stuff? Do you know what I did? That night, I asked all those hard questions. My best friend Whitney passed away a couple years ago. And in the dream, I met up with her to eat, and she had my baby in her arms. She said, I got him. I said, Lord, it hurts, but I know why. He protected me. I found out later that I had chemo in my system still, and I was on blood thinners and all these things, and the baby probably wouldn't have been able to survive. I would have had to walk through that hard. I've actually seen that. But in that moment, God came and said, hey, come to me. Come to me. And I was mad. I was like, Lord, you said, and I am faithful, and I am trusting you, and I know you are good. But God said, you know what, Camrie? Because you asked, let me show you something. And seeing that picture of Whitney holding my baby has been my hope. Jesus showed me that to show, hey, I know you care about this so much. Here's a glimpse. Don't you worry. It's all under control. Don't you worry. That dream came out with a death. We can turn to, God, you said God, you took it away. You said I'm never going to have kids now. Is that how you show me love? But my heart partnered with, no, I know you're good. So I'm standing on that promise. I didn't let that promise die. I said, God, where's that promise today? I'm still faithful. I know he's going to fulfill it. Look at Abraham. He had to wait forever. But I don't know how that promise is received. He promised me children, but it could not even be my own. I don't know. But I trust in him. And I lean on his understanding. because he's going to make the path straight and he's going to make it true. So can you shift your heart to burn for him again with those dreams and those desires that you've said, Lord, you said, and it never happened. And I prayed for my kids and they're not following you. And I put them in church every Sunday and they still don't know your name. Can you shift your heart to burn for him? To dream again, to never take our eyes off of him, even in adversity, even in the struggle. Lord, you satisfy my every desire with good things. You supercharge my life so that I soar again like a flying eagle in the sky. You're a God who makes things right, giving justice to the defenseless. Every scripture I've read is a purpose to show you that God is not just a God that sits upstairs listening to your prayers. He has supercharged your life and sent supernatural angels to protect you. If we were to go in a metaverse and see God's hand not on your life, what would it look like? There's so many times I look at my life and think, if I didn't know God, I would be somewhere totally different. You wouldn't see this happy girl up here. So this morning, I'm calling you to pick up the fire. Resilience is hard. It's hard to pick it up again and continue to move on. But I know my God. He gives me strength. I lean on him. I trust in him. And I abandon my own expectations and lay them at his cross because his plans are so much better than what I could think of. So much better. But God, right? You can say all these horrible things that you want to. You can say all of these things that have happened in your life, but at the end of the day, you're here. You're still grooving. And I'm sorry you're going through hard things. I'm sorry you've been through them. So is Jesus. He cries with us. Did you know that? He cares for you so deeply. So if you want to stand with me, I want to pray a prayer over you guys. If we could just have some small music. You guys feeling all right? That was a little heavy, but there's a purpose behind it. Wake up your weary souls. Lift your head. For the King of Glory is here. He surrounds you with his love and mercy. Jesus, I come back to you now in my longing for life to be good again. I love you here. Lord, in my soul's longings, desires, and heartaches, I consecrate you to my primal drive for life. I surrender to you my ability to aspire for good things, plan for them, take hold of them, enjoy them, and keep aspiring. I consecrate all living in me to you, Lord Jesus. I give you my vanished craving for life to be good again. I love you here. I love you right here. And now I ask that the river of your life would flow in me. In my primal drive for life and in my longing for life to be good again, I open my heart and my soul to the river of life. Let it flow in me, through me, and all around me, restoring, renewing, and healing me. You alone are the life I seek, and I welcome your river into my heart and my soul. I receive the river of your life in me. Thank you, Lord. In your mighty name of Jesus.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Empowered Living Podcast by Empowered Life Church. We hope it blessed you. Subscribe so you can stay up to date with our latest podcasts. If you'd like to learn more about us, check us out at facebook.com/ELC-talent or check out our website, www.empoweredlifechurch.org. Have a blessed week.